How's it going, guys? It's me, Cthulhu Crisis. Welcome to another episode of Summoner Spotlight. Today we will be following I Barf New York, who's playing Shaco in the jungle. Honestly, I think his team has a huge advantage in this game for a few reasons. The bottom lane is Misfortune and Blitzcrank, who synergize very well against Ezreal and maybe support Garen or Lee Sin. I'm not sure who yet. The mid lane is Morgana versus Ari. So I think Morgana has the advantage if she plays correctly here. And the top lane is Darius versus Jax and Garen. So it looks like it is support Lee Sin. So I think Purple Team has a pretty good advantage here, and
30 seconds until minions
we're
spawn.
gonna see him starting at red, but he looks to be going to steal their blue, possibly, or just for defending his buff. We'll have to wait and find out. I've never played Shaco. I understand how he plays, but I have never played him myself. So let's go through his abilities real quick while we wait for buffs to spawn. His passive is he deals 20% bonus damage when attacking from behind, making him a great chasing champ. His Deceive is his Q. He teleports nearby and becomes invisible for 3.5 seconds. His next basic attack will critically strike, dealing 140% damage. His Jack in the Box is what we see him placing now, and that's going to allow him to clear his buffs pretty quickly. His E is 2-Shiv Poison. The passive, when it's ready to cast, Shaco's basic attacks reduce the target's movement speed by 10% and reduces minions' chance to hit by 20%. Active deals 50 plus some magic damage to target enemy and reduces their movement speed by 10%. And the ult is he vanishes briefly and reappears with a clone. Lasts up to 18 seconds. Deals 75% of his damage and receives 50% increased damage. It also deals damage when it dies. So we see him getting the clear. It looks like bottom lane's is ready to be very aggressive, which is something that obviously Blitzcrank does very well. And we see some trades going off mid, and she's starting to keep up in level. Darius is going to play pretty passively for a while because he is in a 2v1 lane, but that gives Shaco more jungle control. So that'll be great. So we see him going in to grab this blue buff, and he's going to be able to take it with relatively no problem. So if we take a look bot lane, we see they got Ez very low. They're not going to be able to finish him off, and he's going to be able to stay in lane. And Misfortune's pretty low too, so they do have to watch out for that Lee Sin landing that shot. Purple team has a ward there, blue team does not, so no advantage there at this point. We see mid lane just holding. We got Battle Pop Tart versus Vaders. And let's see, it looks like Ez had to recall. So that's going to give Purple Team an advantage, being able to push up for some farm and try to gain that level advantage. Up top, we see Darius holding his own against both of these guys. Keep it up in level, too, which is very good. So it looks like we're going to see Shaco run in. It looks like he's going to head up top. So the way he ran that, I'm not sure if he got in their vision or not. Yep, he did get in their vision. So he's going to call the MIA, and blue team's probably going to start backing off. No. They're barely backing off right now. So that's going to make for some angry Ari if they do die here. We see the Ignite going to pick up Garen. We see Shaco running away. Jax is going to tower dive. And a perfect deceive by I Barf New York. That was an awesome play. And he was able to just narrowly escape Jax and make Jax kill himself. So, if we take a look at the score, Darius got both of those kills. That's going to put Darius in a huge position. Not only is he going to be able to push up this lane, but he is going to have a huge level advantage. I mean, right now he is level 5, and both of the enemies are level 3. That means he's going to get his ult long before them, as long as he gets back in lane quickly. Middle lane, we see Morgana just doing what Morgana does best, and that's playing very passively and staying back. That's what makes her so great. That's what makes Morgana so strong in the middle lane, is that she can place very defensively and wait until she has some follow-up from her team. She can farm very easily and just hold that lane without any risk of losing it. So let's take a look at items, okay? We got Madrid's Razors coming out of I Barf New York, and some boots and pots. We're probably going to see him come in on Ari. I don't think he's going to be able to get him unless they can get Ari to pull up, which they can. But he's going to get a little bit of poke off, and then he's going to back off. A near stun on Morgana, but I don't think there would have been the follow-up there to do much with it. And I assume that I Barf New York is going towards the Wriggles, but we are going to see him pop out onto that Ezreal, hopefully. If he can get that Ezreal, that would be a huge advantage for this lane. Alright, he's able to pick up the kill. He knows when to leave. He's going to back out as soon as he finishes what he came to do. He is not going to stay and try to get Lee Sin because they're not worried about Lee Sin. They don't need to be worried about Lee Sin. So, great play. We already see Misfortune grabbing her Vampiric Scepter. And we see Morgana heading back for the first time. She was able to hold that lane very well. And Purple Team's already got 1,000 gold advantage. So let's take a look up top and see what's going on up there. We got level 6 long before Garen or Jax do. And we're going to see Jax come down here. And they're calling the Mias in mid. And Jax is going to jump in on Shaco. Now, this could be dangerous here. So he's going to do a little bit of poke on Garen, and we are going to see Jax hit level 5. So Shaco's going to head back into the jungle, try to get some more farm. And he gets there right as red buff appears. That's pretty impressive. Good timing. So he's going to be able to grab this buff without too much of a problem. No smite available. I think he used it when he first walked in. And he's going to finish clearing that buff, and then I would think that he would go back, but he might grab his Wraiths first. So he is going to grab his Wraiths. Let's take a look at mid lane. I don't see Ari anywhere. Where's Ari at? Oh, Ari is right there. I don't see Morgana anywhere. Oh, she's up top. Okay. So we're going to see this tower start getting hit a little bit. Not for a whole lot of damage. Ari isn't the best at taking towers. But we do see 2 very low members of blue team. And Darius is going to concentrate on pushing up that lane. So if he lets them escape like that, then that just lets him hit his tower. But it looks like he isn't going to go for the push. So we see Ari lying in wait, but there's a ward right next to her, so Purple Team has perfect vision on that. And I would assume Morgana will come up here and let her know. Shooting a shield. Alright, we do see him grab his blue buff. And he's going to be heading for a gank on that mid lane. Ari needs to get shut down. She does have a level advantage at this point against Morgana. But we need to see really good follow-up from Morgana on this, or we're not going to be able to take Ari out. So there's exactly what I'm talking about. Morgana couldn't follow up very well, so it's going to be not a failed gank, but not a successful one either. We are going to see Shaco head up towards top lane. He's doing a really good job of making sure he's clearing and ganking well. But we are going to see him come up and try to steal their blue buff. This is going to be a no contest. There's no ward coverage. There's nothing to make them think that he's here. Bottom lane, we see Blitzcrank staying pretty balls deep. He's going to try to line up that shot and grab Ez. So let's see if that is successful. They're going to be able to grab Lee Sin and do some heavy damage. But with that, he's going to be able to get out without too much of a problem, and the waste of Misfortune ult is going to be a problem. But we are going to see Ez drop, which is the important target here. And we see I Barf New York hitting mid just to stop that push. So good follow-up. Morgana's doing a really good job of roaming and helping assist with those kills. And I think that's going to make a big difference in this game. She probably should have pushed mid a little bit more before she did. But with the advantage right now, it's not going to make a big difference. We do see... Sorry. We do see Garen pick up the kill on Darius pick up the kill on Garen. What am I talking about? Which he's not going to be able to do a whole lot about, or a whole lot with, rather, without a gank from I Barf New York. So let's take a look at items. He picked up a Vampiric Scepter, so he is going to have that lifesteal. And that just makes me think that he is going for the lantern. And we are going to see purple team being pretty aggressive. We see Blitzcrank right on the corner here. If he can grab Ez, that would make a huge difference here. But without Misfortune having her ult, there's not going to be a whole lot of follow-up. We are going to see Jax go in on him, on Darius. Darius is going to turn it around, but then Garen's going to come in. Now that's going to completely change that fight. We're going to see Darius trying to get away. He should be able to without a problem. And we're probably going to see I Barf New York heading up that way. We take a look down here. Looks like Misfortune had to back. And hopefully Blitzcrank can hold this lane okay by himself. Oh, we do see Shaco head back. So Shaco is one of the assassin junglers, as most of you guys know. He isn't like a Sejuani or a Nunu where he is going to assist in getting all the kills. He usually gets the kills himself, and he's really good at that. So there we see heavy damage coming out, and we're going to see Jax disconnect on the blue team. He wasn't doing a whole lot for their team anyway, but he's going to reconnect right there, and we're going to see Darius getting back in lane to try to hold that lane. And Shaco heading mid to try to get that gank. They do need to hit that Ahri. They need to get that kill on Ahri, because she is being too strong in this lane. She's being able to push too much, and at this point she's being able to stop Morgana from roaming. So looks like Shaco decided he needed to grab red buff first. I think Shaco's very red buff reliant. And looks like our good friend there is having a lot of trouble staying connected. We see Misfortune get very low, and we are going to see her drop. I don't know why she didn't try to run away. Blitzcrank easily could have held them off. But once again, we see Morgana leaving her lane, and minions pushed up to her tower. So they are going to head up top, Ahri is. And Shaco heading up to cut her off. I think we're probably going to see Ahri drop here. If she does manage to get away somehow, they're going to get her anyway. So, then we do see the Morgana ult come out. We are going to see a kill coming from Darius. And that is going to be a huge help. They're going to be able to, if they all focus here, they can push up this lane and probably do some heavy damage to that tower. Shaco is probably going to head and push mid, because it is kind of pushed up, and bot lane needs him too. So Misfortune did not play super well there. Blitzcrank is doing pretty well. He's really doing a good support move, and that's going to be pretty helpful. We see Shaco come down. There's no ward in sight, so if this is followed up well by Misfortune, we could easily see Ez go down here. Oh, get back down there. And we're not going to see much of anything because Misfortune's attacking minions. Morgana is coming in for the gank as well, so we could see Ez drop here if everybody just kind of works together. But it looks like Shaco's going to head and grab this blue buff. Morgana misses that skill shot just barely, and Ez is going to walk free. So we see him grabbing that blue buff. Darius is still holding his lane. He's playing more passively now, even though he has a 2 and 4 level advantage. Ari, once again, is uncontested. She is just farming up. Let's take a look at her farm numbers here. Ari has 63 farm. Morgana has 50, so that could make a pretty big difference. And we're going to see Shaco hitting Ari in the middle lane. Is he going to be able to pick up the kill? Possibly. It's going to be close. He is going to be able to pick up the kill. And bottom lane is playing very aggressively. Not getting off a whole lot of damage, but getting enough damage that we could see a fight breaking out soon. Shaco's going to head up top. It looks like he's got him pretty pushed. And we don't see very much ward coverage coming out from blue team. Ari is about the only one that's really doing heavy damage. We are going to see the ult come out from Shaco, but he's not going to be able to get him. And Jax is going to do his dodge, so that's going to be all for naught. We do see the Morgana coming out, the Morgana ult coming out, and Darius picking it up with his ult. And they're probably going to shove up this lane a bit, but New York's going to get out of there. So at this point, if Baron tries to contest, that's what's going to happen. And they're going to be able to hit this tower and take it pretty easily. We see a 3,000, almost 3,500 gold difference here. Once again, though, Ari is left unchecked, and she's going to continue farming. If any problem is going to come out from blue team, it's going to be from that Ari getting to farm fed. So I just wanted to take a moment. Oh wait, let's see how this breaks down first. We do see the ult coming out. We see Misfortune taking heavy damage. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Misfortune drop here. We're also going to see Blitz drop. And that is going to allow blue team to shove up that lane. We do see Morgana heading back in to contest against Ari. A little too late, but at least they did get this tower up top. And they're halfway to the next tower. So really, if Darius can get back in lane and everything, I mean, they need to shut down Pop-Tart here, but also the objectives are going to be what decides this game. And with Ari being the only one consistently getting to tower, and her not being able to hit towers very well, she is not going to do as much at this point in the game. But she is gonna get stronger as the game progresses. So we do see the good stun going off. And some heavy damage going on to Ari. We see Darius heading in, and he says, "Well, if you're gonna draw me in, I'm gonna go ahead and finish you." So he does pick up the kill without even using his ult. We see Jax grabbing blue buff. There's no ward coverage there. And we see New York grabbing his red buff again. So he really is making sure that he's keeping up on his buffs. He has really good buff control this game. And we do see a good setup from purple team on this bottom lane. So all in all, this is a pretty good game by purple team. Most of the members are playing pretty well. Misfortune isn't doing terrible. There's a few plays she could have made a little bit better, but she does not have that ult up, so we are going to see as probably drop, but Blitz is forced to steal the kill. She's going to waste her ult on Lee Sin, and Lee Sin's just going to walk away from it. So mid, we see three people in mid on purple team. It looks like they're going to try to take that tower, because it's better to get one objective in 2 or 3 lanes than to try to get 2 objectives in 1 lane. So we are going to see Ari drop, we're going to see Jax drop, and we're going to see this tower go down. New York is probably going to head down and try to gank that bottom lane. And it looks like they're actually going to back off and not hit that tower. They picked up the kills they needed, and they want to get Lee Sin. So no follow-up from purple team bot lane. So New York's going to have to walk away empty-handed. Ez is coming back into lane, and he's going to head back up, probably to grab his blue buff and then hit mid. Oh, his blue buff isn't up yet, so he's just going to head straight up. And now his blue buff is up. So he's going to grab that blue buff. You see Morgana hitting that top lane. Looks like a little bit of a skirmish going on in this bottom lane. But one thing I do notice already is the ward coverage by blue team is really not well done. Especially with a Shaco, somebody that's just so quick and sneaky when it comes to these ganks. Ward control is everything. So we're going to see Ahri taking heavy damage here, probably die, as long as he is able to finish this. Yeah, we're going to see her drop, thanks to that red buff. But with somebody as powerful a ganker as Shaco, it's really strange to not see the ward coverage coming down the way it needs to from blue team. Jax is going to come down and try to hold this tower. Ez is going to be hitting Darius and Misfortune, and we got Blitzcrank who just went back. So Morgana finally able to take that middle tower. So we're going to see Shaco heading back for items. Speaking of which, we're going to go ahead and take a look at items. But we do see Misfortune picking up the kill, and Darius is probably going to pick up this tower. If Lee Sin's going to come in to defend it, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Misfortune come out and help. That would be preferable. They probably may have gotten the kill off the dive there. So let's take a look at items. We got Darius going for a pretty tanky build with Ninja Tabi and Warmogs, also grabbing that Brutalizer, which is going to be infinitely useful. We got the Wriggles Lantern coming out, Zeal, and Boots of Mobility. We see a lot of attack speed and gank ability coming out of that Shaco. Morgana's going with the Zonias and double Dorans. We see Misfortune grabbing Bloodthirster, Berserker's Greaves, Doran's Blade. Just getting a normal ADC build, not badly. On the enemy team, the only person really picking up the kills is that support Lee Sin, who is not very supportive. We see his 0-5 coming out of Ahri. Even though she has quite a bit of farm, she has now been zoned out of the farm and has no chance of catching back up. So we do see all of purple team down here, and we're going to see probably a tower dive and a kill. At least one kill. We're definitely going to see this tower go down. I mean, that's not even a question. So we see that tower go down very quickly, and they're going to go ahead and shove up because they have vision on at least 2 of these blue team members. So rather than going after Ezreal, they should be just focusing this tower, and they could take it out rather quickly. But we do see Blitz with the grab, able to pick up Lee Sin. Lee Sin's pretty tanky, so we aren't going to see a kill come out. And we're going to continue seeing poking coming down from that Lee Sin. Jax is going to come down, and he is going to meet with Morgana and Darius, and we're about to see a dead Jax, I assume. We see a good ult coming out. Doesn't reset, but we also see Shaco go down, but for a good cause. We're going to see Ahri drop. So we see the Misfortune ult come out, not hitting for a whole lot, but enough to get a good poke off. And we're going to see Darius heading back down to try to finish Ez. So a good game coming from I Barf New York. We see him going 4-1-6. He's got a static Shiv now, and still has those Boots of Mobility. It'll be really interesting to see what they can do with this. And it's a 2v1 right now, but against an Ezreal, Darius has a huge advantage here. He is going to have to force the flash so he doesn't die, and we're going to see Morgana stealing that blue buff. Darius is going to try to recall, and then that ult's going to hit him. Morgana's going to finish off that blue. We got Blitz coming back into lane, and we got possibly a contested recall. He is able to just barely get away with it. And Shaco's going to go back and clear his buffs again, it looks like. So I would not be surprised at all if we see a surrender come down from blue team, but I wouldn't think that it would come until at least one tier 3 tower is down. right now we have all 3 tier 1 towers down, and we've only got 1 tower down for the blue team. So we're going to see Morgana chop from Jax, and Lee Sin's going to go in on Misfortune, mainly just for a poke. So we do see Shaco setting something up here. If he gets a good follow-up on this, I don't see any pings coming out is the only problem. But if he gets a good follow-up from Darius, they should be able to kill at least Ahri. Looks like he's going to focus Jax, and he is going to be able to burst Jax down, and then they are probably going to be able to pick up Ahri as well. But with that ult, it's going to make it a lot harder. So he gets out, and the clone dies to Lee Sin. And it looks like they got MIAs down bot. It's not really the laning phase anymore, but it's still a good idea to call MIAs, because then you at least know where people aren't. So we're going to see him grabbing their wraiths. And we're going to see really heavy damage coming down here on Lee Sin. Lee Sin's going to pick up the kill. Darius is going to be able to ult for the kill, and he's going to try to get Ez low enough that he can dunk him too. So we do see a double kill coming out of that one death. So that was worth. That Darius played that very well. And we're going to see Misfortune shoving up this bottom lane. Unless a contest comes out from somebody. And actually, we're going to see the surrender just off of tier 1 towers. They were just so beaten so early on that we're going to see a surrender without a single tier 2 tower dropping. So thanks for checking it out, guys. Once again, this was the Summoner Spotlight for I Barf New York, playing Shaco in the jungle. You guys all have a great day. Leave me a comment in the section below. Send me a message if you want me to spotlight you. And I'll see you next time.